Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Jules.
Hello everyone.
Hello, you've been playing a little bit of the old Hitman 3 and you've got plenty of things to say.
I have indeed. I was very lucky to get an early copy of this, mainly because I think that IO Interactive basically gave in to all of the incessant demands of the letters that I was sending to them that just had like...
rattling on their windows.
Well, it was mainly just like bits of broken eggshell in and pictures of photos of an egg and then me and then Hitman, Agent 47, and they'd just be like, make this happen. And so they just like, take a code and go away. Mm-hmm. So yes, I've been playing it. I have a lot of good things to talk about when it comes to this game because as far as I can tell, this might be the most complete Hitman experience to date, and that's mainly because of the fact that you can import the first 2 games into it.
I did see that, yeah, because I thought when they did this with Hitman 2, you could do the thing where you can stand in like a bush, and they added that mechanic where they then added other bushes everywhere, and they sort of retroactively did stuff.
Sorry, I'm just dying at the fact that it's that, like, you imagine like all of the features that Hitman 1 has. It's kind of like, become a new assassin, stealth in all these brand new, and it's a Hitman 2. Be a bush. Like, Fortnite's looking over at that, just going like, we did that first, mate.
That's some revolutionary bush tech that they brought into Hitman 2. Because I
do not want to know about your revolutionary bush tech, mate.
It's not me doing it, it's IO Interactive. But I do love the idea that they're like bringing old stuff across and then retroactively applying new mechanics to it. Because is that kind of what they've done in this case?
Definitely, yeah. So what you can do is when you import old levels from either Hitman 1 or 2, they've got a real big, very fine graphical upscaling on it. It looks great. Weirdly enough, they've done this twice now. So with Hitman 1, when you were playing Hitman 2 and you had older levels that you could import from that into this one, or like sections that you went back to, they upscaled his face and his suit looked a little bit better. Now in this one, there's like they've added new graphical bits to like say his tie, the creases in his clothes now are much more realistic. There's tons of like graphical fidelity that I really appreciate because going back and playing older levels, it makes it feel so new because the graphical engine, the Glacier engine, I believe it's called, they've had like leaps and bounds with what they've done with it, and it is
those bushes
the most
look better than ever.
The foliage is phenomenal. It's phenomofoliage.
Good. Hashtag phenomenofoliage.
I absolutely loved it. Like, it's maybe not a huge graphical update in terms of like it doesn't overhaul everything because let's face it, Hitman 2 was already a very good looking game, but it definitely upscales the earlier Hitman, the Hitman 1. It makes it look really, really nice. And when you compile all of the levels that you get 6 levels from Hitman 3, you get all of the stuff from Hitman 2 and 1. It's a ton of content. Like, I was like almost burnt out going through the first Hitman game because of how much stuff that there was there. Like, you could replay those levels over and over and over again, doing little tweaks to get these little in-game challenges. So for completionists looking to maybe do every single one of the trilogy in this one experience, my heart goes out to you because you're going to be on this for hundreds of hours.
So in terms of like gameplay stuff, like because the level that they've shown off, I think is like a Dubai, like a big tower in Dubai.
Yeah, you are
in
the tallest building in the world. And it is absolutely brilliant. When it started off, you remember the Monaco level from Hitman 2? It had that sort of air of like real energy and vibrancy, and it seemed like over the top, almost a little bit cartoony. This is less so. This is much more scaled back because it directly throws you into the narrative. It explains to you what you're doing. The end basically recaps the ending of Hitman 2 and sets you up for this new mission. And the first thing you get to see is Agent 47 skydiving down, parachuting onto the top of this tallest building, and he is just there. It suddenly gives you control of the gameplay, and as the wind is like rustling through your gliding suit that you've got on, you can look down, and it's literally you cannot see the ground because it disappears into the crowd. Like, I got a feeling of what's it called, vertigo immediately. I was there like, that's what I was going to say. Like, I do not enjoy this.
Yeah, they showed, like, because I've watched a bunch of gameplay clips and stuff, and like you can like scale multiple floors. You can go back outside the tower, go up and down different pipes and stuff, and it's kind of I like them fleshing it out. It gave me a little bit of Splinter Cell vibes going up and down.
There is huge Splinter Cell vibes from this because basically, like, the first time that you play through this level, it walks you through a very kind of like simplified tutorial stage where it like shows you the new gadgets that he's got. He's got a camera that you can point at stuff that will overload technology or open and close shutters in this case to distract guards and people, call them over. So it introduces you quite slowly to that. And if you follow that path, it will guide you through to assassinate both of the targets that you've got, and it's a very, very satisfying level. If it was just that, if it just gave you that one method of killing them, then it would have been a perfectly serviceable level. But then as soon as you finish that, it goes, right, here's 2 more ways to do it. And it will guide you through those 2 ways in a really nice sort of, I won't say hand-holding because it makes it seem like it's detrimental to the gameplay, but it makes you feel like you're exploring and expanding your knowledge of the level itself while being slightly guided by the game, which is really, really helpful for new players
they had
to
that
this.
in some of the older ones where it's like you go, like they'll tell you like basic checkpoints to hit, like go over here, get this particular knife, then go over here, talk to this particular chef, and that'll sort of trigger like specific kills that you might not have got before.
Yes, so it does exactly that, and then as soon as you've done with those ones, it will then just throw up random challenges to you, just saying like, hey, can you kill this guy with this, or like, have you thought about like doing this and this, and you're suddenly just like, oh, then the sandbox nature of this game hits, and you're like, oh, I can literally approach this from any angle I want. So there's
What was the craziest kill you did?
Oh, I mean, to be honest, I had so much fun walking around smashing people in the face with coconuts. I was just like, the best one was luring people over to an open elevator shaft and then just going like, Coco Bongo, bang! And then you just like go right in the face and they go, ooh, and down the elevator shaft they go.
Great.
Never failed to make me laugh like an absolute idiot. But you can, I'll try not to ruin too many of the assassinations that are story-centric, but you can... I will say that there's throwing knife kills, there's lots of accidental kills, there is fulfilling my ultimate goal of basically proving to people why hand railings are essential by basically taking a screwdriver and unscrewing the bolts to it. So when one of the these people is like leaning over the edge just going, oh, it's a beautiful view up here, and just goes, whoa, and it just falls straight down, and you're just like,
Because I remember the first time that they brought in the accident stuff in Blood Money, where it was like you could just go. I remember doing it in that Santa level the most. I thought it was one of the promo screenshots as well. But like you could just go behind someone and just be like, whoops, and then they come up as well. You push them over the edge. I love the idea of like making parts of the scenery untrustworthy, so you're even further away when they accidentally fling themselves to death.
It's fantastic because it means that you've got a completely clean getaway. But you remember in the earlier games, it would actually sometimes penalise you for killing innocents. It would just be like, it would take a minus off of your like ranking at the end. Now, this actually has a kind of like... it adapts to your playstyle, so it doesn't actually critique you for going around killing loads of people and making mistakes. Instead, what it does is it changes what type of award you're given at the end of the mission. So if you went through and only killed the 2 targets and you didn't do anything else, you get like the silent assassin ranking, which everyone wants. But if you went around and like had your twin ballers out and you were literally just shooting everyone and you eventually killed them, you would just get like a killing spree one, but you wouldn't be penalized for it, which I really like. You would still level up, and leveling up in this implies basically you unlock new starting areas, new equipment that you can smuggle in, new mini goals, new outfits that you can begin the level as to make things easier and more impressive. But another unlockable that I genuinely think is, I won't say like game changing because of how like small it might seem, but it really does affect the gameplay quite a lot, is you can unlock permanent shortcuts. So what you do is you go in through the level and say that there's like a ladder that is you can see, but you can't climb up it. You can go to the top where that ladder is, kick down the ladder like classic Bloodborne or Dark Souls style, and that ladder will now be permanently unlocked. So the next time you come back to this mission, you can go straight up the shortcut.
Interesting. That's a bit Soulsy. They have that in Demon Souls.
It kind of implies that there is like a multiverse sort of thing of like tons of Agent 47s influencing this like forever secular.
Well, he is a clone. I mean, I know he's like one of the only successful clones, but that could be a big old twist.
Maybe this is where the story's going, that you find out that it's just like one big time loop, and he's just like looks over and sees Desmond from the Assassin's Creed trilogy, and he just goes like, all right, mate, I see that you're doing the timey-wimey shenanigans too, are you?
Hands him a coconut and they just go to town.
And they just smash each other. Mate, Coco Bongo needs to take off. I absolutely love that. It was good times. I'm trying to think of like what else that they've added in that's new. It's less about what they've done in terms of the huge leaps forward in terms of changing how a Hitman game plays, and more really refining what it is. The experience now is the most crystallized, and it is the most pure fun I've had in a video game for a long time.
Well, it feels like when you were describing it to me before we started recording, it reminded me of Guitar Hero and Rock Band in regards to the mechanics are completely solid, and we're just gonna make sure that you carry everything over going forward. So eventually you do end up with this sort of de facto platform of content, or platform for content, where you can add stuff on. Like it is still Hitman 3. Obviously the story stuff is in a really cool place after the end of 2. But like that idea of making sure that they respect what you bought beforehand, that was just immediately I was like, that's Rock Band. Like the idea of just bringing stuff across and making it better. Because in Rock Band 3 or whatever it was, they started making it so that if you went on an older song, they would add like newer notes.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
would
like
add,
that.
yeah, they'd added new bits to it, wouldn't they? Which I thought was great. And that's basically what they've done now. They've done small tweaks to the previous levels. They haven't changed a ton of the gameplay. They've added in like a few new bits here and there. But at the end of the day, what you're getting here by picking up Hitman 3 is not only a fantastic stealth game and with tons of comedic value and tons of replayability, but you're also getting the best versions of Hitman 2 and 1 as well. And as I can say, played it on the PC, haven't experienced any bugs whatsoever. The only things that I would say in terms of a critique are maybe the ragdoll animations for when you kill guards. They're a bit stiff. But apart from that, I've not encountered any game-breaking bugs. I've not found it difficult to get from one mission to another. Like, I would be hard-pressed to fault what Hitman 3 is doing here.
Okay.
And it's got an upcoming VR mode as well.
Yeah, I saw that stuff. We've got, because we're doing like a more full breakdown thing at some point in the future, I think.
Yeah, doing the full review for it, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have that in the coming weeks or whatever. The release date is, I think, January 20th. It's
20th,
not that far
yes,
off.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can check back for the full review. Jules, your conclusive sentence.
Coco Bongo Club. It's the most fun. It can be as serious and as silly as you want it to be. This is probably going to be the definitive version of a Hitman game.
Beautiful.
Would also like to point out as well that I'm open, because once this is gone live, we're going to be starting to do some streams as well over on WhatCulture Gaming. So if you've got any challenges, as in specific items that you'd like me to use or specific play styles, let us know down in the comment section, and I will endeavour to make that happen.
I mean, it's absolutely going to be kill both main targets with a coconut, unless that's really easy, in which case it should be something else.
It's not counted, believe it or not. A coconut to the face is a non-lethal object.
Brilliant.
Right?
Well, I guess it doesn't kill them.
Have you ever been hit in the head by a... Well, to be honest, I don't think that you've been sitting under any palm trees, just shaking them, just going hit me in the noggin. But still, people die from this, mate. Like, this is a dangerous object.
47 is a skilled enough assassin, though. That's a perfectly angled throw where it's just a knockout.
To be fair, you can skewer somebody with a replica of the Eiffel Tower, so that is actually pretty fun.
Why didn't you lead with that? We could have called the video
because
that.
the coconut is even better.
Agent 47's Coco Bongo Club. Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below. How psyched are you for Hitman 3? And yes, check back for the full review in the future. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
And I have been Jules. Thank you very much for having me, Scott.
Anytime, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.